Hey.
Hey. Sounds like we're flirting with each other. We're not. Technical
Oh,
difficulties today.
yeah, a little pre-show issues.
Yes. Flirty Friday.
Flirty
Welcome.
Friday.
Relationship time because we can't ever stop talking about relationships.
Yeah,
And one of our
it's
technical difficulties is I can't make the spinner work. Were you going to say something before I spun?
no, I was just gonna say it's something we get pretty jazzed up about, hey?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Spin.
Let us see what we'll be talking about today.
Really? 30s again? 39. I'm sure we've done 38.
I think we did 39, didn't we?
No,
No?
we did 30,
Oh,
35 and 38, but not
well,
39.
this one's interesting, but I feel like, well, I'll just tell you what it is. How about that?
Yeah.
It's personal love expressed through higher self-reality.
Oh, good golly gee. We just like to pick light and fluffy topics for our realistic base for our 11-minute discussion. Can you say that again?
Yes. Personal love
Mhm.
expressed through higher self-reality.
Hmm. Okay, so this isn't going to be relationships. This is working on yourself within relationships, right?
Yeah, I believe that's what they're kind of getting at. Personal love.
Yeah, if you don't have love of yourself, your relationships probably won't go great. Personal love through higher self reality. Well, you know what? Business partner, bestie, you take it away. I'm just so giving like that.
Hmm. Well, I guess what does that topic stand for? Kind of, it's like the idea of loving yourself, essentially, right?
100% fully. We bring our magical Mondays into this because I actually talk about higher self all the time when I'm talking about tarot or magical things or intuition.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, of course, that would come into relationships. If you aren't loving yourself from this higher perspective, then you're going to always be hard on yourself or never fully representing who you are in that relationship, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And usually it's our thoughts. So that actually just came up for me this week. And I just blogged about it. I said, often our higher selves on like FM and we stick to AM and we need some kind of bridge to start listening to that higher self or we get caught up here, right?
Oh yeah, totally. And so what I guess for most people listening will probably already be familiar with the term higher self, but
But maybe not.
higher self, yeah. What is it? It's in our opinions, it's something outside of you in this physical 3D realm that is maybe you could refer to it in many ways. Like I hear people referring to it as like um I don't know, some other dimensional side of yourself, I guess. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
your soul aspect, your
Mm-hmm.
connection to creation.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
which continues when you don't,
that's right. It's
if you believe in that.
if you believe in that. And I don't know, do you believe in that?
I totally do. I totally think there's a piece of us that chose human. So that's why there's that part of us. To me, that soul piece is a little bit more of that beautiful spirit that chose to come as human. And so it has a little bit more knowledge about us that we can tap into, which I often think then we take as this piece is dumb and that piece is smart. And I don't think that's it. I just think as humans, we forget to tap into all of us. But that spirit chose to have a body. It didn't just want to float around and have that life. So I think we have to remember the higher self piece of me sometimes needs the baser self of me too. Like I think sometimes it gets a little like even in the question here, I'm like, there's a little bit of assuming that everything I decide in this level is wrong.
I know.
And I don't know that I totally agree with that. I talk about accessing your higher self because I think, like, you've seen me all twirled up in relationship, right? Blah, blah, and you can't get past it. That to me is when I'll use something like a tool, like the tarot or my best friend or something to just say, okay, to remind me to go to my wisdom. And then I think that's important. I think we have that wisdom piece, which I often think is my higher self. But I think if I always floated in higher self, and I know maybe gurus and teachers will say I'm wrong. I just listened to this that said you'll be way more peaceful if you always walk in that state. Then why the fuck did I come here?
Oh yeah. Well, and my thing is, if you're tied to this idea of a higher self, are you not always kind of are you not always kind of in that zone? I mean, like, I get the idea of being unconscious in your actions and choices and what have you, but I don't know, like, do you think that you can operate in a way where you are tied and you have a fully functioning connection to your higher self, your soul, your creative spirit, the creator, whatever you want to refer to it as, and still live in that mucky, juicy, sometimes ugly, sometimes hard, sometimes very raw, gross, mundane aspect of being human? I think you can. I think that maybe that's a new way of approaching living, that, like you said, it doesn't have to be this dumb versus smart, or like, it's like, what if you choose to be smart and wise as a gross little human being? I don't know. I realize we're getting pretty far off the
No, because
plan.
that's where we go. Because so if you are listening to the Red Lipstick Babes, it's never just black and white for us. Because I was just listening to this where it's very popular spiritual guru woman was talking about how when you reach enlightenment, then you'll be able to go past your ego and still live in the world and still do things of the world, but you'll always be attached. They didn't say higher self, but it was the exact same idea, but you'll always be in flow. And so you won't ever be experiencing that stress of, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? You're going to be in flow. I don't know.
Yeah. So what if you can, I mean, I'm just playing around with this idea here, but I think that you and I are like maybe even walking examples of this. I mean, not perfectly, but can you not be in that higher flow and still go through the drama of reality and like get affected by it and hurt by it and like realize that you're hurt by it and then kind of have a chuckle and then continue to feel hurt? You know what I mean?
I would think, I don't know.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think I'm pretty close, but I would say I like, we know the certain areas of my life that I still struggle in, right? We're not going to talk about that there. I have a feeling that when you click in, we talk about this all the time, and I don't know that I've quite figured the full click. Like maybe, when you're in a safe and there's just almost there, not that I don't have a lot to teach and I haven't learned a lot, but and maybe I won't choose that in this lifetime, right? So that's another whole topic. But to me, here's my idea of enlightenment, and I don't think I've reached it, is when I get to this space that I can call Kimberly up and I can say to you, oh yeah, this issue is still an issue, but it's really not. So it just doesn't bother me anymore, and I'll work through it and I'll do that. And so those feelings will come up, but it's just a given. And I really get quite stressed out by some things still. Not that I don't think that'll, do you know what I'm trying to say?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's almost like I see it, I get it, I know it, but I haven't quite done that final click in that one area. And we've watched each other grow this year. I even think in certain areas this year, I'm like, oh, I'm clicking, I'm flipping, and I'm choosing what some people might say is the base side of myself, but I'm not. I am absolutely attached to my higher self in this, knowing what I'm doing. I know this sounds a little cryptic because I can't talk about which areas, but there's one area of my life that I still feel I haven't clicked into that enlightened, that full connection with my higher self. And I don't think that doesn't mean I still wouldn't have problems in it. I think that I wouldn't be calling you up stressed about it because I know that it could be solved. Does
Oh
that make
yeah,
sense?
it does.
No, no, here. Like I know it, and you and I talk each other through it, and we get that. Can I throw one more wrench and then I'm gonna let you talk?
Yeah, throw it.
I also, because you know me, I'm so much about we work on our own shit. You can't fix my issue for me. But if I could fix everything, why would I ever need to talk to you? What would I need you for? Why would I ever have to? Well, I always think there's a little bit of a mess to bring us into community too, because I think it's so juicy. You aren't my crutch, and I have to learn to have you not as, but you could be my sounding board where I get to talk about things. If we just walked around as enlightened beings, we might as well have our own planets in my mind.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Anyways, I japped a lot. Now give me your
No, those are good. You know what? I get what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying about the click. I feel honestly like, well, you know me,
Mhm.
the past couple years, whatever. It's like even longer, obviously, but I think I've had my fair share of rough and drama, and this isn't even supposed to be like a sob. This is not a sob story. Trust
No,
me.
it's
This
not.
this is not. I'm not a sob story person.
She's not.
No. I it's like I I totally can go through it, things with that click, right? Where it's like there's juice here. And I feel like that pisses people off, but it's like I feel that attachment to, I don't even like saying higher self sometimes because I feel like you're placing it in some other realm or some other far away place from you. But it's like I feel like I can operate with that awareness of it, where it's like, yeah, I'm in some fucking hot water here, or I'm in some like not feeling good, like I'm not good at all, or some stress, like high stress situations. And it's like, and it's awesome. It's so human. And it's like, oh, it's so human. And so I feel like people get frustrated with that because or they call you like hyper positive, and it's like, I'm not fucking positive. I see that this is being human and this is life, and we're choosing, like you said, to interact with one another and to experience and to bounce off of one another and like have these real human experiences. And I think that having that kind of joy, underlying joy, as you go through your human experience is an attachment to higher self, right? Is being able to know that, God damn, this is beautiful. This is a beautiful life experience. And that is not negating the hardness of it. It's still beautiful being super hard, right?
Right.
To me.
Well, what Kimberly just said summed up the whole meaning of life. So we will now be ending our podcast.
Yeah, this was our last red lipstick babes.
Because we've just given you the meaning of life.
But you know, if we were talking to people about, like, if somebody was listening to this and being like, wow, you guys are like on the path, or like, you know, I want to experience what you're experiencing. It's like, I always tell people it's like looking at a magic eye, right? It's kind of like the click thing. It's like looking at one of those magic eye pictures where you have to like go a little cross-eyed for a minute. It's like not quite, but you can't quite explain it to a person. It's like you just have to like look at things differently for a minute, right? And then it like clicks in, and it's like you suddenly your perspective shifts completely, and it's pure joy. You're seeing on a different level, right? And so
Absolutely. I love that
yeah.
analogy.
Oh yeah, it's something that you could try. It's like trying to teach somebody how to whistle like this. Ugh, I can't, right? It's something you got to just practice and play around with, and like see if you can, like, I always tell people, like, see if you can practice this like personal self-love by seeing, like what you say, Tony, that life is like a game, and you're having different experiences in this game, and it's very fun. It's supposed to be a juicy joy, fun. Even the hard, when you fall in the, when you go to jail in the Monopoly game, it's like whatever.
Yep.
Whatever.
Like if you're playing a playing game, you have tools. We talk about tools on a lot of our stuff. You have people that are around you. You have the mages. You have the spirit guides, whatever. I don't know. It's all. I like your
It's
definition of juicy. I'm not even being pithy about it. I think you just described the whole point of life. It's not to be perfect. It's actually
no,
find joy in humanity.
find joy in humanity, and and that does not equate to not taking life seriously, not taking hard things seriously.
Oh,
It's just about like, that image of the Buddha, how he sits there with that little slight smile on his face.
yeah. I like
That's what's it about, man.
I think so. I don't know. I don't even know if maybe we always disagree on a few things. Maybe I don't know that there's anything we're supposed to take that serious.
No, and that's what I mean. It's like, can't you just like, like I'm the type of person, and like I feel like my parents are starting to love it now. But like I've always been this person who's like, I'll fucking laugh at anything, like anything, people's hardships. It's like I have compassion, but like sometimes you just gotta kind of like sit back and just like, wow, this is fascinating.
She's a
My
good friend to
own.
have because you go through something. She's like, isn't that juicy? No.
It's like, no, bitch.
Okay, yes, it is.
No.
But no, it's a good perspective to have. I've adopted it, right? I think and it is that whole game. And that do not get us wrong. It's not like we don't call each other on a day and go, right?
Oh
But
yeah.
here's where I think your magic eye is a perfect example that I think you can use your what the frick was the exact thing that this was? Higher self.
Personal love expressed through higher self.
Oh, it's
Reality.
Got it. Like I think when you do those magic eyes, once you get it, I still don't ever instantly look at the picture and see the 3D. You always have to like refocus a little bit, but it sure gets a lot easier the more you do it.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the connection to higher self for me. The more you tap in, the more you say, oh my God, I'm just in my thoughts. So I don't know that we ever aren't connected, but I think we confuse the radio waves, right? So it's like, oh,
Yes.
worry comes in and oh, my swirly I've talked tarot, oh, my swirly brain comes in and then the connection's fuzzy. I don't think there's ever a time where higher self goes, disconnect.
I don't think so either.
You fucked up, bitch. I'm out. I just don't think that happens, right? I just think a fog's come or we're not doing clarity. So I just think we have to clear like the static that used to be in the old TVs, right? Or things like that. It's like a little turn on the dial and we get reset again. So
yes.
I just think there's too much of this. I'm going to make someone mad, but you must tap into your higher self. No, I don't. It's already there. Some bitch, clear up the channel. I'm right here.
My higher self is leaning back with a cigarette.
Yeah.
Shaking her fucking head. Right.
Whatever. Watch the movie when you know I'm here when you need me.
Yeah. Or it's like I laugh at something and it's like she's laughing too. She's like, that actually is brilliant. You know what I mean?
Or like if it is like we say, like what I think it's even your higher self. Oh, there's that lesson I came to learn. Look at them. Look at them with 5 boyfriends. I don't, but I'm just saying like they're gonna learn something from that. I tried to tell them, but who cares? Whatever. It'll play
Exactly.
They'll be back. Like that's I don't know. I know even some of the people in our lives that would be like, oh my gosh, you're not giving enough reverence to.
I know.
Yeah.
The audacity.
Or you could have a much better. That's why you're having problems with that, because whatever.
I feel like if you think about this, like you said, if everything was just pure joy and pure higher self energy, and people were walking around like all pious and like enlightened all the time, it's like, where's the juice and joy in that? I mean, and I'm not even negating the need for like thinking clearly and awareness and consciousness and operating on that level. I just think we forget sometimes that we're humans, right? And
I agree. And some people think we're evolving towards that, more back to that Atlantis feel, whatever you feel about that. And maybe we are, but I think this time, the way we came, we chose human. There, for all I know, there's planets up there where we all are walking around very enlightened. And that's that experience. This experience is like, look what we shoot out of our bodies. Can I get gross? We chose human. Not everything human is blatant. I do not, your least favorite thing, I do not fart rainbows. Like I do, like there's so many things that are just juicy about the very existence of being human, that it's not all light and we ourselves are not all light and fluffy. So why are we always trying to float?
Yeah, that's right. And then if you can take that, what you just said about being human, you can take it back to the relationship aspect of like, okay, now let's pretend we've grasped this on a personal level. Well, then you take it when you're interacting with another human being, and it's like, maybe I'm okay. Again, people on here know maybe that I have had some issues in the past with certain things about like jealousy, all that kind of stuff. Something like this has really helped me be able to move with more flow within a relationship setting, because it's like, you are human and so are they, and they're human and they're juicy and they're learning and they're experiencing and they've had their story and they're tied to their higher self, whether the connection is clear or not. But
Right.
everybody's human and everybody's juicy and everybody has something different they bring to the table. And I think that if you can grasp that first on a personal level, then you can bring it into a relationship level, right?
And then you have a choice, like we talked about in the Magic Mondays. Everything's a passage that was read.
Yeah.
If you choose that your higher self and you want to shift that jealousy, then all your relationships will shift.
Oh yeah.
If you choose that that's a juicy aspect of your life you're not getting rid of, is that wrong?
No, it's not.
And that's, I think, where we're coming from. What journey do you want to take? Decide that consciously, and then you're connected to your higher self. I don't know that the conscious decision always has to be enlightened, better person.
That's correct.
What the frick does that mean?
Well, and how much pressure does that put on a person, right? And I'm not even saying that you shouldn't have pressure put on you. I'm just saying, like, is it all about just striving and striving and striving, or is some of it about just like experiencing and smiling and, like you said, stop and smell the flowers,
Stop and smell the flowers. So do we think there's personal love attached to higher self all the time? Does it get foggy? Yes. And then you start making decisions about what you really want. Sure. If I come to you and I say, I really want to fix this area of my life because I don't love it anymore, then you do start connecting and you start shifting it and you make a choice. But I don't think it's like, oh, now I'll tap into my higher self. It's like, okay, now I'm going to dive deep into this switching of my passage. And then I'm going to ask my higher self to help guide me along that.
And it's kind of like, I mean, that's a whole nother topic, so we won't go there, but I was going to say, even being honest with yourself about, do you really want to change something? Like, maybe a jealous person gets off on being jealous, right? Like, I'm not saying I do, but you never know, right?
That's why if you join the Red Lipstick Babes, no topic is actually a topic.
They morph.
There are so many levels to everything. Do we think you're connected to higher self? Yes,
we do. And I think the point of this is that it starts with you embracing that on a personal level, and then you can take it onto a relationship level.
Because you have to kind of know where you sit with what we just talked about, or your relationship. If you're always trying to reach whatever you think enlightenment is, and that's super important to you, and you are more out of than what we're talking about, then coming together with someone like us, even that are like, yeah, you know what, let's play around with this jealousy for a while, won't probably jive with you, right? Or if you can come back. So there's so many places you can take it, but I'm not even going to say, in my opinion, we are connected to higher self. Yes,
we are.
And that's,
and your whole life can be bliss if you want it to be, even the hard juicy,
even in the pile of shit.
Yeah, you can. And I know I actually like people want to argue that with me, but it's almost like they're afraid to.
Right, because you're only happy if your relationships are all perfect, you have a lot of money, you're living in the perfect house, and everything's swimmingly fantastic.
That's right.
Then you've actually accessed your higher self and you're doing much better.
Yeah.
We can argue that on another one.
And I think we will.
We will. For now, that wasn't terribly flirty, but if you want,
No.
we'll flirt with you if you want.
Yeah,
Flirty
next
flirt.
time. Mwah.
Come work with us at our linktree.com site, www.linktr.ee/redlipstickbabes. Can't wait to see you there.